Alright, so what's up guys, it's your boy X and we are back at it again with another Memoria Freese video. Now normally I cover the units along with the general info. However, we have so much news for today, I wanted to take a different course of action and actually make a video specifically dedicated to the idol units themselves. Main reason being is that I'm actually surprised by how good they actually are. I honestly thought it would have been a standard event that would just be an album collection type of deal instead of actual viable units, but boys and girls, I was completely wrong. For the Idols event, we will see a total of 7 new units coming our way, which will be the 2x Ice, a Hermes, a Sofia, a Fizz, an Aki, and last but not least, a Line. And to start off this video, I wanted to start at the free assist, which will be Hermes. Producer Hermes is a pretty well-rounded unit, which is balanced between STR and magic. And as far as his assist skills go, he actually gives the allies a fire damage and light damage and critical plus 10%. Now, is this a really great assist skill? Maybe not particularly. However, for those who are still running Agronaut and Crosso, the fire damage definitely can come in handy. Needless to say, the critical effect is always welcome. However, the light damage on itself might be a bit harder to find actual use these days, but that won't take away the buff that he has for fire, which is of course still pretty relevant in the meta. In the end, he's a free unit, so I wouldn't really say it's bad by any means. The only drawback I'd say is the agility stat, which is a very low stat, so keep that in mind if you do end up using him or was planning to use him on your team. Now, outside of his agility stat, he has A stats across the board, which in my opinion is a really welcome thing to have on free-to-play units, and furthermore, I don't think I really have too much more to say about him. Considering we started talking about an assist, I think it would be a nice transition to talk about the new Ice that will be coming along and is an assist as well. Now, I'm personally very happy with how she came out, and she's actually in fact a unit I was waiting for if we are talking about the stats. I was waiting for an agility assist because every agility assist so far hasn't shown me any love, so seeing my girl Ice come in like that, it really does do me good. And as far as her assist skill goes, she actually has a self buff, which is an STR magic, physical resist, and magic resist for plus 10%, and to top it all off, she gives the enemies a status buff minus 3 turns. Now, when I heard about this being her skill and stats, I was honestly really happy, considering she's not bad by any means, and especially the enemy status buff minus 3 turns is something I didn't expect her to have. So all in all, if you are just like me and you missed out on an MLB Orna or Aris, then this is definitely the moment to recover from that and to treat yourself to an Ice assist. I will actually buy her from the guarantee banner as well, and if it's not for the agility, it's definitely for the art. So with that said, I think we are ready to move on to the next unit, and this will be the first adventurer unit that we will discuss today, which is yet again no other than Ice. This time it's an Idol Ice, which looks amazing as well. Now, Idol Ice is a physical unit, and for her SA attack, she does an ultra fire physical attack, and for each self STR buff, her skill damage is plus 60%. And to add on to that, for 5 turns, the SA gouge charge will be plus 100%. Then to get into her actual skill set, for her first attack, she does a mid-fire physical attack, and for 4 turns, a physical resist and fire resist minus 30% to your enemies. Then for her second attack, she has a high fire physical attack with a high on guard, and for 3 turns, she busts allies with physical and magic resist plus 30%. And for her last attack, she has a super fire physical attack with high penetration, and for 2 turns, she actually busts the allies with STR and fire damage plus 30%. And she is in fact an insect killer to top it all off, so are all the idols coming up. Now, especially her SA attack was something I was really surprised about when I was reading this. The 100% SA gouge charge is I think a first when it comes to introducing it to an adventurer as a skill in game. Furthermore, her buffs are fine, nothing too crazy like Haruhime. However, if we take a look at her actual stats, you can see she carries a triple S at strength, so it's safe to say she will actually hit quite hard, especially when the buffs are stacked up. She's a very quick unit as well, and along with the Ice assist, I think she will be going first for the most part, if not always, so I definitely rate her high for that. All in all, if you're an Ice fan, you will definitely appreciate this event and how good it has been treating her so far. But that is just the first adventurer out of the bunch, and we do have some more to go through, so let's go over to Fizz next. Now, as expected, Fizz will be a magic unit, and for her SA attack, she has an ultra fire magic attack with ultra on guard and temporary magic boost, and for 1 turn, she gives the enemy a fire resist minus 50%. Then as far as her skill set goes, for her first attack, she has a fast mid fire magic attack, and for 3 turns, she actually debuffs the enemies with AGL, magic resist, and fire resist minus 25%. Then for her second attack, she has a super fire magic attack with an ultra on guard and temporary magic boost. boost, and to top it all off, she has a 25% seal to the enemies. Now for her third and last attack, she has a high fire magic attack with ultra penetration and temporary magic boost. Now Fizz all round is a great unit to have. She too has a triple S stat which would be magic, and she even is quicker than ice with a double S on agility. Personally, I'm really happy to see Fizz finally getting some time to shine, and having her come around back to back is indeed nice to see, considering she hasn't been shown too much love before the Halloween event. However, on the opposite side of that door is Sofia, who has been shown a ton of love so far, and this time around that's no different. And of course for Sofia, she will be a magic unit as well, and as far as her SA goes, she does an ultra fire magic attack with an ultra on guard and a temporary magic boost. And for one turn she actually buffs fire damage plus 65%. Then for her actual skill set, for her first attack she has a fast mid fire magic attack, and for 3 turns she busts allies with a magic, agility, fire damage plus 25%. Then her second skill is a super fire magic attack with ultra penetration and temporary magic boost, and a 30% taunt towards the enemies as well. Then for her last skill, she has a high fire magic attack with an ultra on guard and temporary magic boost, and instead of the 30%, she now has a 60% taunt towards the enemy. And she too is an insect killer just like all the other idols like I said before. Now personally, I like her a lot and favor her as one of the better units out of the batch. I like the buff that she gives a lot, and her stats speak for themselves. Also, she will have the possession over a triple S magic stat and a double S on agility. Her art looks amazing as well, and she truly does look like an idol, but that goes for nearly all the units in this batch, including the next character that we will be discussing, which will be Aki. Now Aki is a physical unit, and for most a CP character to get added to the list as well. Her SA is an ultra light physical attack with an ultra on guard and temporary SCR boost, and for one turn she actually buffs the allies with a critical and penetration rate plus 50%. Now to start talking about their actual skill set, for her first attack it's a fast mid light physical attack with an ultra encounter, and for 4 turns she debuffs the enemies with a single target resist and an AoE resist minus 20%. Then for her second attack she has a super light physical attack with ultra penetration, and for 4 turns she actually buffs herself with a SCR and light damage plus 40%. And last but not least, for her third attack she has a high light physical attack, and for each single target resist debuff she gets a skill damage plus 40% buff. Now she too has very well rounded stats, with her SCR and agility being her main selling points. Furthermore, I think not a lot of people know that she even exists, so I think for a lot of people this will bring in another CP character to add into the list, and of course that means more iris to get, and of course bonus points for being a Neko, including the pose. Then we arrived at the last unit out of the batch, which is definitely the best out of the batch by a mile, and that's Lean. Now Lean herself is a balanced unit, and before I want to start announcing her skills, just listen carefully because she's absolutely ridiculous. So to start off with her SA attack, if HP is above 1%, she avoids KO once, and if you have gone below 1%, then for 3 turns she heals herself and her allies with 75% HP regen. So not only does she deny death itself, she also pretty much puts the team on crack with another 75% heal, which is ridiculous if you ask me. Then to go into her actual skill set, for her first attack she actually has a delayed super light physical attack with ultra encounter and removes the enemy's STR, magic and HP regen buffs excluding assist skills. And I think by that alone you can already tell she's completely wilding out, but that does not stop there, because for her second attack she busts the allies for 4 turns with a fast SA charge plus 33% and counter and crit and penetration rate plus 20%. Then for her last attack she has a high light physical attack and skill damage plus 40% for each crit buff that she has for herself. And for her counter she busts allies plus 1 turn, and of course she will also be an insect killer. Now if I'm really honest, I did not expect them to whip out such a disgustingly good unit out of the blue, let alone for an idols event. Now I highly underrated this event as a whole, and when reading these skills I quickly came to regret spending my 4k iris trying to MLB both Belle and Ice from the ballroom banner. This is one of the many times I see them release a waifu unit which I immediately want to grab my wallet for. However, upon reading these stats and actual skills, this made me grab it twice as quick. Now my advice to those who are unsure whether or not to actually spend on this idols event, considering that the collab is coming along, is definitely summon for Lean, because she is absolutely ridiculous and will be very useful in events like war games. Now I know for a fact that people are sitting on their iris with the knowledge of the collabs coming along, but with all the upcoming stuff, which I will cover in the video that I'll drop later tonight, I'm sure you will actually get it together even if you went all in on the idols. I personally thought I'd sleep on the idols event, but now I'm convinced I'll have to spend anything I can considering how good they came out altogether. And And like I said, I will make sure to cover all the news outside of these units as well, because we do have a ton of other stuff going on. However, that will be in a later video today, so if you want to get updated as quick as you can, make sure to put on that bell so you receive the notifications, because knowing YouTube, those notifications hardly get sent out on the right time. Personally, I will be aiming to get them all, but let me know down below what you guys will be aiming for, or if you stand tall and continue saving for the collabs that are coming up. So that was it for today's video. It was your boys LJX coming through with the Memoria news. Now stay happy, stay blessed, and I'm out. Peace.